I've been managing marketing for over 30 years, and today I want to show you how to get leads in your business. So I've been doing this work since the 90s, and back then I was working with advertising agencies, and we were working with large pharmaceutical and other big international businesses. And so I've worked at that scale, and I've worked all the way through to actually running my own marketing agency, being a marketing manager for all sorts of different businesses, right through to being a consultant in the marketing space. And so leads is something that I've been able to get in so many different industries. In fact, we measured recently that I've worked with 237 different industries, and that's not even the subsectors, that's actually just broad industries, and I've been able to get leads in every single one. So I'd like to show you the 3 ways that I help people, especially in the consulting space these days, get leads in their business. But before we get started, I want to show you how leads fit into the world of what ideally you want in your business, which is clients. So to understand what we're actually trying to do here, we need to understand that leads are just part of a larger overall system that we're creating for our business. And we call that system a pipeline system. And leads is what we're going to focus on today. But there are other aspects. First, let me explain that leads are, and I'll just put a little @ symbol there, leads are contact details for people who could use what we've got. Now, if we take one step back, we're actually looking at suspects. They might use what we've got. In other words, we haven't really qualified that these are the right people to be speaking to in our world, but we've got a sense that they may be. If we go past leads to prospects, we now know that they should use what we've got because they're highly qualified. They're no longer leads. They're actually qualified to a specific situation they want us to help them with. If we move through to customers, that's someone who has a custom of buying with us. They might buy from us once in a while. Maybe they're spending a little bit of money with us. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get to clients, which is the people that we want to spend time with. And they're spending much larger amounts of cash. Now, the idea with the pipeline is to keep it streamlined versus the funnel, because the funnel always has this larger part at the top, which is the funnel, and it means that we need a lot more people in the top of the funnel so that a smaller amount of people spit out the end. Well, I'm focusing on aiming towards a very specific target market to make it easier to keep more people in our pipeline and therefore not have to do so much heavy lifting at the top of a funnel. And so the process I want to show you today really is going to touch on 3 different ways to build lists and list leads or lead lists in your business. So on the board today, I'm going to show you the 3 things that we're going to discuss when we're talking about leads, right? So leads. And those things are the 120 list, which is all about you getting those leads yourself or creating the list of leads yourself. We're also going to be talking about making offers. So making offers can be made in all sorts of different ways, but it's really about people asking for something, you saying yes, and then the step that enables you to get them as a lead in your business. And then finally, we're looking at to create leads while we sleep. So while we sleep is what we're aiming to do. So we'll talk about those 3 things today. I will start with the one where you build it yourself. So that's the 120 list. Now, the 120 list is something that I came up with years ago when I first started running my marketing agency. And the reason that I created it is because I was doing so many different things in my business and trying to catch all these little drips of leads that were coming in that I was finding that I was getting a bit overwhelmed. And I really wanted to bring it all together and just focus on one specific space where I could get a lot more engagement done in a lot faster period of time. Now, what I came up with was a list. In fact, the way I worked it out was how many dollars do I need in my business or do I want in my business? How many conversations do I have with people? Because in the world of consulting, conversations are king, and really your point of sale is a conversation for you to move people, move people to buyers and AKA make them clients. So there is a process to that, and it always goes through a conversation. And so the fastest way for you to a sale is to have a chat with a prospect. So what did I do? I identified how many of those conversations with qualified prospects or people that I knew in my world who were connected to those prospects, how many of those would I need to make to get what outcome. And I worked out for the amount of money that I was aiming to make inside my business that I needed to speak to 120 of these people every 90 days. And so I went about creating my 120 list. And the 120 list is a really useful focus for you because it enables you to have 120 names that you will contact every 90 days. And that can be the only marketing that you ever do. So if you don't mind speaking to people, fantastic, because part of you doing the consulting work is speaking to people. Part of you selling the consulting work is speaking to people. So part of you marketing the consulting work and getting those leads is a conversation. And so how do you go about creating a 120 list? Well, it has 3 different components. First off, we have our existing clients. They are part of the 120 list. In fact, is the best place to get new work from your existing clients. So existing clients have to be on the 120 list. And if you have 120 clients, then that's where I would probably not stay, but that will become a large part of your 120 list. In fact, from that amount of clients, that would be enough to hit my goals. But for you, you'll have your own number. And it might not be 120, but I think 120 is a really nice first goal that enables you to build a list. So you've got your clients on there. You've got your current clients on there. You've also got your past clients on there. All right, so that's a very, very important part as well. Past clients that you want to work with again, or past clients who can introduce you to other people that you would ideally like to work with. Just as a little caveat to this, if you've got really D-type clients, the clients you don't want to work with anymore, they question everything, they're hard to work with, they always try and beat you down on price. If you get referrals from these people, you will get more D clients. They tend to hunt in packs. They come together. I think they talk in secret, and they make these plans about actually trying to work with someone who basically bends over for the demands that they have on your business. So if you have D-type clients, remove them from your business. If you've got C-type clients, move them up to B-type clients at least, which are pretty easy to work with. Every now and then there's a challenge, but you like working with them. And ideally keep as many of those A-type clients as you possibly can. So if you did have 200-300 different clients that you do work with, number one, that's a lot. You might want to actually reduce the amount of clients and increase your fees. But if you did have more than 120, then stick with those A-type clients in your client mix as well. So you've got current clients, you've got past clients. Now you've also got referral partners. So people that naturally would work with the type of clients that you would work with, but they don't do the same thing as you. So for instance, in the consulting space, there are people who also work with consultants. There are key social media people who work just with consultants. There are also specific accountants who just work with consultants. And so I may speak with those people, refer work to those people, and have them refer work to me. So having those people in your 120 list means that you proactively contact them, not to ask for referrals, but to see how they're going. And that's part of the lead generation exercise is, number one, you can get new work from your existing and past clients, but then in speaking to your referral partners and giving them referrals, you're going to be getting referrals back in return. Now, the third part of creating your 120 list is creating something that I like to call mayors of the town. Now, mayors of the town are people who have a leadership position within a community of some sort. And so based on whatever communities you're going into, so in my world, it's going to be consulting, I might look at something like the Consulting Association. All right. So there are a bunch of different consulting associations, and I might get to know some of the mayors of those towns. So the presidents, the directors of the board, there are a whole bunch of people that I will get to know, and I will do things to make sure that I'm helpful to those people. And in return, they help me, because what I love about these mayors of the town, which makes them actually fantastic humans, is that they are natural connectors. So whether that is the chairperson, whether that's the president, whether that's a board member, whether that's the editor of the magazine, whether it's the founder of a community, these people are natural connectors, and they can't help but to help you. So if you can help them, they will help you. And what they do best is they don't just connect two people, as in them to someone else, they connect two third parties, which means that there's a bigger impact to them as a connector, but then there's also a real much bigger return for you. So you can speak to these mayors of the town, You can ask them, number one, ask them how you can get involved, how you can help. That's really a first key. Number two is that you can ask them for advice. You can ask them about things that you're doing. Who do you think you should speak to? What's a good idea around this? And they will engage with you and help you basically build your business because they care about the community that you are a part of. So that's the 120 list. The 120 list is probably one of the best bets as far as when you're starting your business, getting a natural networking list together, because from that list, you can actually get an infinite amount of leads. And a lot of those leads will be in the form of some form of repeat business or referral. So that's number one. Number two is about making offers. Now, this is not just making offers to anyone. It's about putting an offer out somewhere. This could be in the form of an ad. This could be in the form of a presentation that you're giving to someone or to a group. But you make an offer to say, I've got something. Would you like it? Right? And so in the process of doing that, people will raise their hand. Now, when someone raises their hand, now let's take the literal concept. So we'll take an event that you're speaking at. And yeah, there's all sorts of different ways you can do this. I just want to give you some examples. So let's say you're speaking at an event and you've just given your presentation, and somewhere in the presentation you've said, I've created a resource, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a benchmark report or something like that, or a diagnostic. I've created a report. Who would be interested in receiving that? And you put your hand up like this, and other people in the room will start putting their hands up. If no one puts their hand up, it's not a problem. You just go, all right, well, it seems like no one wants it. That's absolutely fine. I'll leave it there. But if they do put up their hand, there's two ways you can do that. You can say, come and speak to me after the event or at the end of the session, and I'll take your details and I'll send it across to you. Right? Fantastic. The other way is to actually put up a QR code that goes to a landing page, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a moment. But let's just take the practical and the basic version. Come and speak to me after the event. They come up to you, you take their business card, because that's the best way to take a lead. If you give their business card, you're giving your power over to them and expecting that they're going to call, and people don't do that. So if you take the business card, it means the control's now in your hand. You can put them on an email list. You can put them into your phone list, on your 120 list, and you can contact them in whatever way you see as fit. Right? But taking those details is a great way to do it. Now, let's say that we're on social media platform, and you might put something up on a post that says, would you like this thing? Now, you could put a link in there and link it to a landing page, as I'm going to show you in a moment. But funnily enough, an easier way to do that is not to get them to click. You can actually say, I've got a thing. Do you want a thing? And let me know, right? And they will say, yes, I want a thing in the post itself, which allows you to then contact them and start a conversation. Now, you might be thinking, that's not very efficient. I would rather them efficiently go and sort it out on their own and actually put themselves into my database. Well, you might not think it's efficient, but it's far more effective because it enables an actual conversation with someone who has already raised their hand, which again, if you recall, is the fastest way to a sale. So we want to have these conversations with people, and ideally we want to have these conversations with people who are qualified. So I've got a thing, do you want a thing? The thing that you have, ideally if it qualifies them as being right for you to work with, then and they raise their hand on it, that actually pre-qualifies that they may be ideal for you to speak to. So what's an example of that? I'm going to make something up. So let's say that I sold farm equipment, right? And I said, who wants a catalog of farm equipment, right? The people who put their hands up for that are most likely to want to buy farm equipment, right? One step removed from that, if I put up a resource of how to run a farm, there will be equipment that those people need, but they might not be ready to buy now. Still great to have as a lead, right? You're going to get these people on a list and you will contact them however you see fit over time. So making offers out into the public domain is a great way to get people to come back to you. And so when you speak to these individuals, whether it be on social media or whatever other platform, you can say, fantastic, I love that you want the thing. I usually ask at the same time, what do you want the thing for? Because it raises the opportunity to talk about the problems that they have and how you can help them from that next step. But ideally, when they say, yes, I would like the thing, you've had your conversation, where would you like me to send it? What's the best email address for you? Or more succinctly, what is the best email address for me to send that to? And they will give you their email address, and bang, you've got another lead. Now, I've seen people do this method incredibly effective by inviting people to groups, and this is back in the day before Facebook groups were any big thing. And they would do this one-to-one to one-to-one through networking functions. And I saw those people who were really good at what they did build groups of up to 7,000 individuals by literally asking, would you like a thing? Now, the thing could be a resource, a guide, maybe some diagnostic on how, or information video on how to do a thing. But it could be an event, and it could be a group. So invitations are great. I've got a thing, would you like a thing? So I've got this professional networking group that is specifically aimed at what you do. Would you like an invitation? And they say yes. All right, what's the best email address for me to send that to? Then suddenly they're in the group, suddenly they're interacting with you, and the opportunity for you to have conversations raises through the roof. So on to number 3. Number 3 is making offers while you sleep. And how do you do that when you're not there to make them? Well, the magic words are landing pages. And landing pages are basically just websites without their navigation. They're a place where people can go and they can get an offer and they can decide whether they want to take it or not. Now, in my world, back in the day, and I'm talking, over 20 years ago, when we first started doing a lot of this digital marketing, we would have everything from 1% to 2% to 5% conversion rates. Now, as I became better at doing this sort of stuff, we got above 20%. In fact, if I don't get above 16% conversion rate on a landing page anymore, it's not worth doing. I think that there are much better ideas and better ways to do it. The majority of the landing pages we create are now 30% and above. And in fact, some of the landing pages we've created are up above 80% conversion rate. So that means that of 100 people that actually visit, 80 of those people give us their details in exchange for something of value. And again, it's basically an offer, but it is now systemized and automated. And so you can have these things on your website. You can have these things based on advertising. We'll link to them, or on links just on your profile on social media. You could have it in the text of your description on LinkedIn, or wherever it is that your client base is, where they circulate. You want to have these links to your landing pages in all these different places, and they basically add up over time. Now, if you go to Russell Pearson programs right now, you'll see that there is something very much like what we're talking about. You can take advantage of a free offer, something we've got absolutely free there, that you can go and download now. Now, what does that do? That then starts a communication between you and I to see if maybe I can help you, but it might not be now. You might find that there's just really good information that you get from engaging in myself and my community and the education that we put out on a weekly basis. That might be enough. But over time, you might go, I want to accelerate my business, or I want to grow my business. How could you help? And there are a bunch of ways that we can help, but that's not the point. It is that this is an example of how you can make offers while you sleep. So one of the ways you can do it is either put it on a podcast or put it on a YouTube video. So there are so many places for you to do this. And here's some examples of some of those landing pages. Now, these examples that I'm showing you right now that are popping up on screen, what are the things that you'll notice is I've sort of developed a system where they often will look the same. And some of those will have 3 things in common. Number 1, you can see very specifically the thing you're going to get. Number 2, there is some form of outcome or result that you're going to get from it. And number 3, there is a simple next step or a call to action for you to take. This is the basics of creating a landing page, and that's something that will help you get those leads while you sleep. So over the last 30 years, there are all sorts of ways that we can create campaigns, not just for leads, but how we can actually get people to buy in your world. Now, these 3 in particular are the cornerstones of lead generation, especially in consulting or advisory businesses. So choose which of these are the ones that you're going to activate right now. Which ones do you already have in place? And what are the things that you'd like to know more information about? I'd love you to put it in the chat. You can always ask questions in the comments below so that we can have a conversation, and I will give you a very specific answer, or I'll point you in the right direction. Now, for those who haven't already seen it, the Consulting Guild is the new community that we now run specifically for consultants, of course, because it is the Consulting Guild, to do three very specific things. Number one is we help people get an extra $40,000 in their business so that they don't need to worry about where their next dollar is coming from. Number two is that we help them get time back from their business. So it's not about grinding and grinding and grinding to grow. It's actually about doing some specific steps, putting them in place so we can start getting time back to build a lifestyle and a professional lifestyle that we love and enjoy. And many of the people who are doing this sort of work are going from 5 days to 4 days to even 3 days of work a week. And they're starting to enjoy their professional lifestyle far more than they ever did. And number three, the other thing that we help people do is become market leaders. So how can they start to lead their market and actually become not just notable within their market, but actually have a voice that gets heard in, I'll tell you what, one of the most busy and noisy spaces in that has ever been in the marketing profession is now. But at the same time, we've never had a better opportunity to niche down, get more specific, get clearer about the problems that we solve for the individuals we want to work with so that we can lean in and instead of shouting and trying to shout above the noise, actually whisper in the ear of our ideal clients. And so they will hear specifically what we want to say. My name is Russell Pearson. This has been episode number 81 of the Your Consulting Business podcast. Until next time, stay passionate and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.